Welcome back, Mecklers, to another banger of a video. Today, we are talking about my settings and settings tips for playing on mobile. Stay tuned or skip to the end for one of the most important settings for mobile players. And make sure to leave a like, subscribe for more content. I've been busy with school and other things, so I've kind of been slacking on the YouTube. But yeah, anyway, enjoy. So first, I'll start off with the general controls. The virtual joystick is the default control mode you start off with, the most common, and usually just the best for mobile. Next is the tilt controls. This is only good for like 1% of mobile players. Yeah. Lastly, there's cursor aiming. This gives mobile players more control over their view while playing and makes the game look like you're playing on a PC. I haven't tried this personally, but try it out, see if you like it. Who knows, it may be the choice for you. This is me after I made the recording for the video, but a note is with cursor aiming, players that play on like a tablet are able to keep track of what their opponents are doing to make better choices. Aiming is harder though, but it's hard to learn. But if you get the sensitivity settings right, it'll all be good. It also gives a slight turning advantage compared to the virtual joystick. Your plane will turn as hard as it can as soon as you move the cursor to a location. Thanks Time Acquire for the info. I have the up direction as just normal, so when you move the joystick, your plane will just fly upwards. And inverted is pretty self-explanatory. I have turning mode set to standard. Have this selected for like every scenario. The manual roll has a little slider at the bottom for your yaw. And while moving your joystick, your camera is locked horizontally on your plane, so your camera will like roll with the plane. Flipping the HUD and controls just makes it easier for left-handed players. The show camera button will have a little button icon to lock onto the nearest visible enemy. This is actually pretty useful if you're dogfighting in an open area or using orbital lock on the like Rafale or J-20 for example. Afterburner swipe to lock should always be on because us mobile players have limited fingers and can't always be holding the afterburners down. A little note is that once your afterburner runs out after locking it, it will automatically stop using afterburn like instantly. For your specific gameplay settings, this is what I would recommend. Missile aim assist and cannon aim assist should always be on. Cannon auto zoom is tricky because while it helps with overall like knowledge and like you can view everything around you, you lose the precise aiming of being zoomed in, so you might miss your shots. I do recommend trying it in your free time as you might like it more. Haptic feedback should always be on, and mute emotes and hide emotes should always be off, because why would you turn them off? Max targeting circle lead is very annoying most of the time because the lock circle will like move in accordance to where your joystick is pointing and where your plane is turning. I would keep this like very low or off at 0. For virtual joystick settings, you can pretty much leave everything as default. Shrinking the size of the joystick can make your plane slightly snappier when turning at max rate, but you also need the room for like precision when flying straight with slight adjustments. The joystick offsets just moves the joystick for better reach, because if you have a larger or smaller thumb, and the opacity should be at 10% at the lowest if you know enough like about it and where it is, but keeping it at default is fine. Anything higher is kind of just a waste. For your FOV, put it to max. It gives you the most visibility and field of view. And for camera distance, I have it around 200% because to me the max is too far back and anything less than 200 is too close. So test out different distances if you want. Yeah. For your graphics settings, I would recommend having the automatic graphics on because it works really well. I can run it max on everything because I have a high-end phone. If you don't have a lot of storage on your phone, I would keep the high quality replays off, but that's usually never a problem, so just leave it on. And for your audio settings, they're mostly preference based, but if you're looking to play just a little better, turn off the gameplay music. For advanced volume controls, turn the HUD beeps decently high, around like 0.8 to 1, and passive or active ability volume to max. This just helps you hear things going on during the games and will ultimately just make you a better player. For your advanced settings, for your advanced instruments settings, use whatever speed units, use meters or feet, use kilometers as your distance user. Make sure it's kilometers. The reason is because 90% of players use kilometers and it makes calling out distances in a call on Discord or with your friends much easier to understand. Switch on altitude, turn rate, max turn rate, and acceleration. These will pop up in your HUD for better in-game calculation and just memory for the next encounters. Turn on game performance and show velocity direction angle. The reason for this is because most players, after they're done turning, will just let their plane they'll just let their plane fly without slightly pointing it in the opposite direction you just turned from. This will help you gain more speed on your straights. If you're trying to get away fast, it'll just help you slightly. I keep identifiers off because on a phone the minimap gets really jumbled and messy, especially for phones with smaller screens. Ultimately, I would say turn this on, as it is the easiest way to call out players for your teammates, because it's just better to have more communication. Keep your colors vibrant, but this is just preference for the most part, but more vibrant colors will stand out more, meaning your brain can cut milliseconds of processing to get an edge. This is fact, trust. Put the HUD scale at 100% if it isn't by default. HUD reticle scale around 50 to 70% for more accurate cannon aiming. Then keep everything the same until you go down to virtual button scale. Turn this up or down depending on your phone and screen size. I have a rather large phone, so I upped the size a bit so I don't misclick anything. And turn your free look sensitivity up however much you need, again depending on your screen size and skill in the game. Now for the most important setting, axis cursor look ahead max angle. Turn this up at least past 10. At first it will feel it'll feel weird, but this is probably the most important setting for mobile players that use the joystick. This will make your camera slightly look ahead of where you are turning. It gives a more 3D look and will help you seeing oncoming planes or terrain easier. Maxing this out will technically give you the best advantage for this. But yeah, test out the settings if you have the time, and I'm glad for sharing my settings for mobile players on Metalstorm. Thank you. See ya. Meckley Man out.